Hello everyone, I am Assistant Professor Sanandi Sachdeva from Jaipuria Institute of Management, and today we will be talking about one of the major topics in business communication, which is business letters. So let us know what all we will be covering in this lecture. Today we will be covering that what are business letters, what is the importance of business letters, what are the types of business letters, what is the layout of business letter, various formats that are used while writing a business letter, and how do we write a routine as well as a persuasive letter. Moving on, business letter is the life breath of any organization. The 70% of the communication in the corporate world takes place with the help of business letter. Now business letter is a very important tool, and it can be used for professional correspondence between individuals. Now a company can send a business letter to its clients, whereas business letter can also be sent from one company to another, to the employees as well as the stakeholders. Moving on, although email has taken over the area of business letters, still business letters are attached in emails and used as one of the major area of correspondence. An effective business letter must have relevant information. It should follow the principle of brevity. Students, let me brief you about principle of brevity. Principle of brevity suggests that everything is required to be concise and the message has to be sent in minimum possible words. Moving on, business letter should also follow the principle, which is also an acronym, KISS principle. Keep it short and simple. Now business letter has to be sent to a lot of delegates, so the business letter is required to be kept short as well as simple. It must appeal to all the readers so that the interest of the reader is there while reading the letter. It should follow simple, considerate and focused writing style. Whenever we are communicating, we are required to be considerate. We need to use an attitude which is called U attitude in business communication. That means we are actually taking care of the reader while we are framing a business letter. Moving on, it should and it must follow the 7 C's of communication, namely correctness, courtesy, concreteness, clarity, completeness, conciseness and consideration. So while forming a business letter, it is must required to follow the 7 C's of communication. Moving on. Now what is the importance of business letter when it comes to corporate communication, and how business letters are very helpful? Business letters are enabling us and getting drafted at our own convenience. It can be read by the receiver at his or her convenience. So once you have sent the business letter, it is on your reader. Whenever he or she gets the appropriate amount of time, he or she may read the business letter. Having extensive reach. As I have already told you that business letters are used for 70% of corporate communication, so business letters are having an extensive reach. It can reach inside the cities, outside them, overseas, thus having a very extensive reach. Moving on, business letter also serves as a record for the purpose of law. Since the communication is written, so it can serve as a record for the purpose of law. Moving on, it also serves as a record for reference. It is very important for almost all the companies to keep a record for reference. So business letters actually serves as a record for reference for upcoming activities for any of the corporate. It solidifies a brand. Business letters are very important because they create a goodwill while we are communicating something to the customers of an organization. So business letters are actually helping us in solidifying a brand, a business brand, creating goodwill in the market. Moving on, whenever an individual wants to expand the business, he or she can take the help of business letter. I can give you an example where an individual is seeking a business opportunity in a very new market, and his business is actually right now expanding. So whenever he wants to expand his business, he requires to take help of written communication, and business letter is one of the most important tool when it comes to written communication. Now business letters are a very very cheap source. It helps us in saving the money, so they are actually very useful. And moving on, they are also convenient in giving not so good news. You always have heard about termination letters, resignation letters. So whenever we want to give a news which is not exactly very good, so at that point in time we can use business letter to communicate the same to the individuals. For giving not so good news, I can also give you the example of a technique called sandwich technique, where an individual actually puts on good news, good news, and bad news in between. So, just to mellow down the effect of bad news, this technique is used. A lot of termination letters can be taken as an example of this technique that I am talking about. So, whenever we want to give any news which is not exactly good, we can take the help of a business letter. Moving on, let us move on to the types of business letter. Now business letter comes under formal communication and the mode is written. The first kind of letter is sales letter. Now coming to sales letter, I need to tell you that for sales letter you need a very very strong opening, so that the statement actually attracts the people who are reading the letter. Now sales letter is actually a very very persuasive letter, and you are telling the individual to buy your product. So in during that point in time, what you require a call of action. So the business letter, or under which sales letter come, sales letter must use a very very strong one liner towards the beginning, and towards the end it should call an action, so that the individual actually acts on the letter that you've just sent by purchasing the good that you are pitching in your sales letter. Moving on to the order letters. Now order letters are actually sent by the consumer or the manufacturer to place an order, so it must have all the details which are required. Moving on to the complaint letters. Now complaint letters must have specific detail about the grievance that you want to address to the company. Adjustment letters are actually the letters which are claiming the complaint. So for a complaint letter, the kind of adjustment that you have made as a company, you actually send that adjustment in the adjustment letter. Moving on to the inquiry letter, the letter which is actually inquiring about what is needed, it must include the contact information. Follow-up letters are usually the letters that an individual sends whenever he actually is answering if the complaint has been resolved or not. Letter of recommendations are very popular in the corporate world, and these letter of recommendation are written by companies whenever you are exiting a company and you are joining a new company. LOR is given to the individuals who really work well for a company. Now acknowledgement letters also are a very very important tool. It acts as a simple receipt that you are acknowledging on receiving a product or a service. Moving on, cover letters are also a very very important tool. A cover letter can be attached with a resume while you are applying for a job. Moving on, letter of resignation. As I just told you, business letters are also convenient while we are giving not so good news. So a letter of resignation is also a type of business letter. Moving on, let us talk about the layout of a business letter. Business letter has the following parts. Number one, the heading. Now heading can be further divided into two parts. I will just take you to the next slides when we are talking about it. Then we have the inside address, we have the salutation, the body of the letter, the complimentary clause, the signature block, and the supplementary parts of the letter. Now one by one, let me explain all the parts to you in detail. Coming to the first part, the heading. Heading can be further divided into two parts. One is the letterhead, another one is the dateline. Now what is letterhead? Letterhead is a printed stationery that a company uses. It has all the contact details, the logo of the company, the name of the company. So it gives all the necessary information about a company. So it has the company name, the logo, the website, and the contact details, which are the email ID, the contact number, the fax also at times. Moving on to the date line. Now the date of writing the letter is mentioned one line below the last line of the upper part of the letterhead, and we do not put the word date because it is much understood. The format can be international standard also and US standard also. Moving on to the inside address. Now inside address is used both in formal as well as informal letters. So it consists of the receiver's name, it consists of the receiver's professional title, the department. Then we have the receiver's street address, city, state, and the PIN code. It is written or typed on the left margin. We will talk about it while we are talking about the formats of business letter. Next we have the salutation. Now salutation is a very important part because using the salutation you are actually greeting the individual to whom the letter is being sent. Coming to salutation, it is the message of greeting. Now it is worded to complement the first line of mailing address, and the relationship between the sender and the receiver must be taken care of. Coming to the salutation, let's see what kind of salutation is used in which kind of business letter. It is very important to take care of the salutation because if the letter has not been put with a correct salutation, then it might not have the effect that actually the receiver is intending to be received. Now, dear sir is written whenever the addressee is male. Dear madam is written whenever the addressee is female. Now, whenever there are certain circumstances at times when you do not know to whom the letter will reach. For example, while we are sending a letter for expanding our business, so we are actually not sure that to whom this letter is going to reach. So actually we are addressing the company at that point in time. So at that point of time, the salutation used would be dear sirs. So the addressee is a firm whose name is prefixed with MS, or we call it Messrs. Moving on, we can also use the name of an individual like dear Shri Bakshi or dear Mr. Sinha when we are addressing the individual by name. Of course, the level of formality here deteriorates because you actually are knowing the individual at that point of time, so the level of formality is less. Whereas if I talk about these three salutations, the level of formality is more. Moving on, if your letter is informal, at that point of time you can just use the salutation like dear Sanjay, because you are writing the letter informally and you are addressing the individual not by the second name but by his or her first name. Other than that, students, there are kinds of letters which use salutations like dear customer, dear subscriber, dear editor. Now this is as per the circumstances that are required and who the letter is addressed to. Moving on, we come to the body of the letter. Now over here you have to understand that the real message begins from the body of the letter. It has three parts. It has the introductory part, it has the body part, and it has the concluding part. Now the introductory part plays a very important role because it decides the interest of the reader in the letter that he or she has received from the sender. So your introductory part is required to be very strong. I gave you an example of sales letter in the previous slide where the opening line has to be very strong and it should set the tone of the message right. The body is more about explaining what actually is the intention behind writing the letter, and it is explaining more on the purpose of the letter. The conclusion part is also very important because the conclusion part decides whether the message is going to be acted upon or not. For example, in sales letter, the conclusion part is required to be strong so that the reader can act on the conclusion part that he or she has just read. Some of the few phrases can be used in the closing section. For example, thank you for your time and attention. If you are sending the letter to a subscriber who has already subscribed your connection, over there you are writing a letter explaining that why your connection has not been working properly. Towards the end you can give a line like thank you for your time and attention, because the user or the subscriber indeed has given his or her time because he or she is reading the letter. We are looking, we are at your service at all times. Just a line of courtesy where you are telling that you actually care, and moving upon looking forward to hearing from you soon. Now, such lines can be used in a cover letter. As I just explained, a cover letter is usually a letter that you attach with your resume when you are showing your intention to join a company. In the cover letter, towards the end, you write lines like looking forward to hearing from you soon for mutual benefit. Now, this would help the individual who is reading the letter to act upon what he or she has just read. Moving on, we come to the complementary clause. Now, complementary clause is the ending of the letter. You use words like thanking you in the complementary clause. Then you put on the ending area, which is, for example, if you have used sir during the salutation, then you write yours faithfully. If you have used madam, then you write yours truly. The standard complementary clause in a business letter for almost all the correspondence is either yours faithfully or yours truly. Now, students, you require to match the complementary clause with the salutation that we have just talked about. It is very important, rather a mandate, that the salutation and the complementary clause are matching. Giving you further examples for that, dear sir would have yours faithfully as the closing remark. Dear sirs, when the letter is being addressed to the organization, or dear madam, you will use the word yours truly. It is less formal. It is used when the writer is unfamiliar with the correspondence. Over here, are familiar with the correspondent. Over here, you have to understand that whenever you are knowing the individual that you are having a conversation in a written manner with, then you use these salutation. If you have addressed the individual by his or her second name, you will write yours sincerely. In case of female, sincerely yours. Whenever we are talking about informal letters and you are writing it to your friend, over that point in time, what do you have to do? You have to write yours cordially for male and yours sincerely for female. Now comes the signature block. Now, signature block is a block which is having your signed name and your written name beneath it. Alright. Other than this, each of the letter contains some supplementary parts. Now, these supplementary parts are attention line, subject line, company's name in the signature block, enclosure, attachment notation, copy notation, and postscript. It depends upon the intention with which the letter is being sent, that whether this would be used or not. For example, in a formal letter, subject line is a mandate, but in an informal letter, subject line is not required. That is why they are known as the supplementary part. Since we are talking about business letter, students, let me explain which of the parts are very important to be put in the business letter. Now, the attention line. Now, attention line helps in directing the letter to the right person at the right designation. It is used when the company's name is mentioned in the first line of the inside address, usually placed beneath the company name in the inside address. Actually, attention line, as per the name suggests, is drawing the attention of the receiver towards the subject with which the letter has been intended to be sent. Next comes the subject line. Now, the subject line helps in identifying the topic around which the business letter revolves. One major area to be focused upon for writing the subject line is that the subject line is required to be very crisp as well as precise. So, over here, let me introduce to you to two new words. One is precision and another one is conciseness. So, your subject line has to be full of precision. That means it has to be up to the mark. It should convey what is being sent, whereas it has to be concise at the same time. That means telling your message in minimum possible words. So the subject line should be very crisp, should draw the attention of the receiver, as well as it should be concise at the same point in time. So precision as well as conciseness is the rule of subject line. Moving on, company's name in the signature block. This is usually printed in formal business letters whenever the letter is printed. If it is written, then a stamp can be put. Moving on is the enclosure or attachment notation. Now this is something which is depends upon the letter. So the enclosure or the attachment notation is any other material that you want to be inserted with the letter. Now attachment could be, for example, you are seeking an opportunity in the new market, so attachment could be the brochure of the product that you want to sell. Copy notation is if you are actually marking a copy of this letter to some other individuals also. Postscript is used to put any personal comment, or in case if you want to emphasize any point that has been mentioned to the in the letter, so at that point you can write a postscript, and you can enter the comment whatever you want to enter at that point. So let us come on the three formats of business letter that are usually followed. The first format is full block format, second is modified block format, and the third one is semi block format. Students, let me take you to the full block format. It is a kind of format where all parts of the letter are aligned at the left margin, so everything is left aligned. This is the format which is being used nowadays in the corporate also. So over here, the return address, the date line, inside address, salutation, subject line, body of the letter, the complimentary close, signature block, name of the sender, enclosure, reference initial, everything is left aligned. In the modified block format, the return address, the date line, complimentary close, signature block, and the printed name are all indented to the right half. Other than that, everything else including the body of the letter is left aligned. The semi block format is same as modified block format. The only difference is that the first line of each paragraph is always indented. Otherwise, there is no difference between the two. The only difference is what I have just briefed you about. Now, let me take you to the most important format that you will also be following once you go to the corporate. Students, the inside address is the address of the receiver, the person who is receiving our letter. In the inside address, we need to give the full name of the receiver. We need to give the title, that is the designation of the receiver. We need to give the name of the company. Then we have to give the address line 1 and address line 2, including the pin code. In certain cases, the address can also extend up to 3 lines. After that, you are required to give salutation. Salutation has already been discussed by me. It is the way you are addressing the person to whom the letter is being sent. After that, you have to give the subject line that has already been discussed previously. The subject line is required to be extremely precise as well as concise. Moving on, we will come to body paragraph 1, which will have the introduction about what is being talked about in the letter. It has to be a very strong opening line so that it can attract the attention of the receiver. Next, you have body paragraph 2, which is exactly explaining that what is there in the letter. And moving on to the body paragraph 3, which is the conclusion. The conclusion, students, is also required to be very, very strong, because this will decide whether your letter would be acted upon or not. So conclusion has to be kept very, very strong. Going towards the end, you have complimentary clause. As I have just told you that the complimentary clause must match the salutation. Then you have the signature block where the person who is writing the letter signs. You have the sender's name, the sender's designation, enclosure in case you want to attach something, and reference initial if you want to give any kind of reference for your letter. So moving on, let us know that how do we write routine and persuasive letters, students. Routine letters can be defined as the letters that are used for frequent communication with the clients as well as the customers or the stakeholders. Routine letters can be used to inform something to the individuals to whom the letter is being sent, or to persuade them, or to also create a goodwill. For example, there are many companies which actually tell the growth that they have done to their subscribers, or any innovations, latest innovations they have made to the individuals who are involved in the company. So such kind of letters are creating the goodwill in the organization. So routine letters are written in a very very polite and a very very undemanding tone, and routine letters can be a follow up letter with a client. It can also be telling about a new product that the company has introduced, something, all things like that are covered in routine letter. Coming on to the persuasive letter. Now persuasive letter is written by the sender in order to influence the receiver. So as told, since the letter is persuasive, so the opening as well as the closing is required to be very very strong. Now sales letter is an example of a persuasive letter. Students, while we are writing a persuasive letter, you need to focus upon the you attitude. Let me tell you what is you attitude. You attitude is an attitude where you are actually considering the receiver and his or her needs. For example, if I take care of the receiver and I take him in my mind and I empathize with my receiver. Empathy is putting your foot into somebody else's shoe. You could have imagined that if you were in the place of the receiver, then what would be your reaction? So you must take care that persuasive letter should always be written with a you attitude, and your language should be such that it should be attracting the receiver, as well as it should be considering the receiver as the prime individual. Thank you so much.